Right, okay, so our first little journey into recording Starlite Campbell Band and other people. And we're going to talk today a little bit about microphones. And of course, the most important thing is the source, i.e. your vocal, your drum kit, your bass guitar, your acoustic guitar, your guitar amp, whatever. They're the most important things. And we're going to go through those later on. But what you stick in front of these sources to pick them up is of primary importance. And the selection is critical to a great recording. So, let's start off with a dynamic microphone. This is a microphone. It's a studio grade sort of mic. You wouldn't really use this live. People use them. You'll see them a lot in podcasts. This is the Shure SM7B. Great for rock vocal. Great for podcasts. Great for spoken word. If you watched our little live show that we did from here the other night, you probably saw me actually singing into this. Starlite was using something very similar, but an electro voice. Instead, electro voice version, if you like. But what it is, it's like a speaker really. It's a reverse speaker. There's a magnet, there's a coil, and a diaphragm. So really, if you put sound into it, it would actually make a sound like a speaker. And so it's a very, very similar sort of thing. And you will have seen these all over the world. This is an SM58 classic dynamic mic. You've seen Bono using them. Everybody uses these.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. Well, it's like ice cream.
Yeah.
And you don't normally use these in the studios, except for someone like Daniel Lanois, who's my favourite producer. And he has people wandering around just singing into these things, and he makes it sound fantastic. How he does, I don't know, because I think they sound pretty crap in a studio situation. But he uses them, and he's the greatest producer around, as far as I'm concerned. Dynamic mic. So for vocals, you can use them for snare drum. The S57 version of this, you use the snare drum. We use dynamic mics on toms sometimes. Let's then move on to ribbon mics. This is a very old one from the 50s. It's an RCA ribbon mic. And these principally were used for speech, and they're actually very good. They don't actually add a lot of colour. These old ones do, and I tend to use this for like hi-hats sometimes, cymbals. You can use it for vocals. But we have a selection. We've got Royers, we've got AERs, which are reproductions of these early ones. But with these ribbon mics, you can use for brass. I use the Royer version for miking guitar amps up all the time, and they're absolutely amazing for guitar amps. I don't use anything else. In fact, on the last single we've just done, Stone Cold Crazy, I tried using an SM57 and a Royer, sort of dynamic and a ribbon mic, but it ended up being crap. And I binned all the tracks with SM57s on. They just sounded horrible to me. Ribbon mics are the things, and the Royer R122s that we use are fantastic. So, but these are the cool looking things.
That's a real classic looking microphone, isn't it?
And ribbons,
the old days.
Yeah. But they're great on horns, Chris Cheek, who we had in the studio when we were in Spain, he was one of our first clients. He's a world-class saxophonist. And he used the AER ribbon on his sax, and it sounded great. A ribbon mic. Yeah, a ribbon mic. It's basically a piece of aluminium ribbon. Rather than a magnet with a coil on it, this is a piece of aluminium waving around in front of a magnetic field. Gives a signal out of that. Okay, and then the third type of mic that is generally found in studios, and what we use an awful lot, is the condenser mic. Now, these are the most expensive type of mics, and it's a different technology again. In fact, it's like a capacitor. There's two plates that waddle around and actually create a capacitance change, and that is picked up and amplified. This is a Neumann from the 70s, U47 FET. Pretty expensive things, quite relatively delicate, so you would never use them live. Very, very sensitive. But we use this particular for kick drum and Starlite's bass guitar amp.
Ooh,
And even though, you can use them on vocals, because they're a great mic, you can use them on all sorts of things. Double bass, they sound fantastic on. We're going to use this on Starlite's file bass when we do the acoustic album, or the contemporary folk album later on in the year, called The Coat. Amazing things. But again, pretty delicate. But they do say high sound pressure levels, so that's a cool thing. And another type of condenser mic you'll see here, you see them live occasionally, but this is a small diaphragm one, so it's got a small diaphragm and that had a big diaphragm. And this is great for hi-hats. This is another Shure. Hi-hats, acoustic guitar occasionally. And we use these quite a lot as well.
It's quite elegant looking, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. But what we're going to be doing is that I'm actually going to demonstrate these in situ when we're actually doing different recordings. Because this series is probably going to go on for quite a while, because we're going to be talking about mixing, we're going to be talking about microphones, more miking stuff up.
Yeah.
Etc. So that's it. Over your microphones. If you want to comment on the blog, on the Backstage blog, please do. I've got a little thread in there. Just put your questions in there, and I'll answer them as soon as you can. So thank you for being a patron of Starlite Campbell Band. And this is great backstage stuff. Whoa, whoa, whoa.